Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be presenting how to find Web3 users and validate concepts. I think this is something that's easily overlooked by many corporations in Web3. Now, I'd like to start with a quick story of my project back in 2021, where I co-founded this project called YouthDAO. And things were going extremely well. We even had launched a few events with one of the biggest players in the market, like Binance, XT Exchange, and we were getting traction. We're growing, and community members were joining. But then suddenly everything shifted. Everything started going downhill. The team decided to abandon the project, including myself. And this was very unfortunate. However, I'm going to circle back to the reason why it happened. During that time, also, I was working with Deepwork Studio, which is a studio specializing in product design and user research for Web3 products. And these are some of the names we've worked with during the last 10 years. And during my time there, I noticed that we're doing something super important that I overlooked when I was co-founding my project, which is YouthDAO, which is not validating the concept. More than 9 out of 10 Web3 concepts or projects fail due to the lack of validation based off our research. And lack of validation doesn't just result in failure, but also results in, if you didn't fail, you're going to probably lose trust. Your users wouldn't trust you if you didn't validate your concept because you haven't listened to them. And based on our insights, users don't trust almost half of the Web3 products out there. And this is also coming from lack of validation, lack of listening to your audience. So I'm gonna show you how you can avoid that in 4 simple steps if you're tight on budget and tight on time, without the need to hiring someone or a professional. Now, there are 4 simple steps of validating your concept. It starts with defining your target audience and then recruiting testers, which is mainly my part of specialization. I've recruited more than 500 testers during the last 3 years with Deepwork. And then third step would be gathering data, which is user research and listening to your audience. And then finally, validating your concept. So first step, which is also the easiest step, is defining the target audience. Now you'd get a few team members that are aware of the vision and mission of your product, and get them to brainstorm a few audiences, and then vote on them, and then you're going to get the most voted one, which is probably your audience. This is an example of one of Deepwork's projects, and this was the most voted one, which were DAI holders and community. And then it's a good idea to have a few secondary audiences, just in case you weren't able to hire the first primary target audience, because sometimes it's a struggle to get whoever you're looking for. So it's a good idea to have a mix, which is sometimes what I do at Deepwork. And then once you've identified your target audience, it's time to identify the best type of outreach channel. Now, during my experience at Deepwork, I've noticed that different platforms serve different audiences. Now, for instance, Reddit is good to hire certain ethnicities, nationalities, maybe genders. But then, if you're looking more into Web3 audiences, I found that Telegram works better. Now, you might be thinking, how can I reach to people on Telegram? Now, I found the best way is using conference groups. Just basically sending a simple message, very informal. Make sure it's informal because people don't like job posts. It seems like more of a task, not a simple chat that you want to have with your potential audience. It should sound something like, hey friends, we're looking for XYZ to give us feedback on XYZ. We compensate you this amount of time, this amount of money for this amount of time, and the call is going to be on that day, and feel free to DM me if you. Simple as that. So moving on, once you've done a few messages of outreach, you should expect people reaching out. And this is an example of one of qualifying testers that I recruited. But it's important to look for certain keywords that are subject specific to your audiences, because the truth is not everyone is honest, and sometimes people are going to be wanting to take advantage of your compensation and not actually give any value. So in this instance, I was looking for a DeFi experienced user, and I found 3 keywords that proved that this tester is part of my audience. Now, these three keywords are beefy finance, hedging LP pools, and leveraged lending. All of these words say that this is actually who I'm looking for, and he's going to serve me well when I get on a call with him and listen to him. Now, moving on, sorry. Up. Okay, let me just, here we go. Okay, now once you've recruited a few testers, at Deepwork we suggest recruiting 5 to 6 testers, because this is a perfect amount of testers to get enough signals. Now, once you've done that, someone gets on a call with them, starts taking notes. Listen to what they have to say. Try to ask open-ended questions and just take notes. And it's a good idea to separate the different types of notes on different colors. So let's say negative feedback is in red, positive is in green, and ideas and comments in yellow. Now you might be wondering, why am I talking about colors? Because this really helps when it comes to mapping out the final view or a final standpoint. So once you've listened to 5 to 6 testers, you're gonna have a ton of feedback, which is it's a good idea to sort it out using different colors, which only then you can notice certain signals and certain basically consistent feedback that you can actually based off your action on, because you cannot just change your product from one person's feedback. It's only when you listen to multiple people's feedback is only when you can change things about your product. And yeah, this is basically how you validate an idea, project, or even prototype. There's so much more to this, and there's so much details to this. So if you're interested in reading our workflow, we have experts who have written all the workflows. If you want to recruit testers, reach out to people and user research. I'll give you some time to scan the code. Okay. And yeah, this is it basically. And if you want to subscribe to Deepwork's newsletter, we share monthly newsletters on things new in the market and so on. So it's quite interesting. I'd also like to thank the co-editor of this presentation, Andre Berlin, who's the CEO of Deepwork Studio. Yeah, thank you for your help. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on my Telegram or email me on my email. Thank you very much.